Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Ron Steele of KWWL.
And I'm Jim Koloff with 93.5 The Mix and 1650 The Fan.
Well, Jim, first of all, I want to say it's so great to be back with you this year as we welcome everyone here to just a fantastic event for 2021 as we honor the heroes of 2020. I would like to welcome everyone to the 16th annual Heroes Among Us Awards Breakfast here, recognition. This, of course, is a joint fundraising effort involving the Mercy One Foundations, benefiting the foundations. And the foundations, of course, in return, support both the Cedar Falls and Waterloo medical centers.
Ron, each year we have shared with you the stories of our local heroes, and this year's stories are sure to be inspiring to all of us. 2020 was an historical year, on many fronts, of course, to put it lightly. A pandemic affected us all, changing how we live and how we look at tomorrow. We are eager for the return of normalcy, of course, and hopeful it will become a reality as the vaccine becomes available to all of our communities. While many of us have had to cope with the loss of loved ones, jobs, and overall diversity in this pandemic, we are blessed in so many ways.
This is so true, Jim. We are blessed in so many ways, and as people across the state of Iowa and the country have truly stepped up over the past few months and the past year, they've sacrificed, they've gone far above the duties that on a daily basis to save our lives, and we want to thank them from the bottom of our heart. From our healthcare workers, our first responders, public safety personnel, literally to all of those in the front line, we are truly blessed to have you out there continually fighting on a daily basis, fighting for our lives. You are truly the heroes among us today and every day. Before we hear about this year's heroes that we're going to be awarding here today and honoring, I want to pause and reflect as Mercy One Cedar Falls Medical Center Board member, Pastor Tim Becker, joins us to give the invocation. Pastor?
Thank you, Ron, and it really is a great opportunity that we have to celebrate the honorees that we have this year, and it's just a great tradition doing this, and it's an encouraging time too, I think, for all of us to really stir each other up to continue to help make this the safest and best community, larger community, which we have and which we can live. And it's really an honor for me to have the opportunity again to ask a blessing, say a prayer at the beginning of this ceremony. So if you would bow with me, please. Heavenly Father, we pause for a moment today before you to acknowledge your presence here with us, and we thank you for your sustaining, loving, protecting, and caring hand, especially in this past year. We ask that you would be near those who have suffered greatly in the past year and encourage and strengthen them, especially those dealing with great grief. We do thank you for this great community and state in which we live. We thank you for the freedoms we enjoy in this great country that have been provided to us through the great sacrifice of many who have gone before us. In faith, we have a great awareness that all of this comes as a gift from your good hand and your loving care. And we again give you thanks and praise for it. We're here today to honor a few among us who have shown great care, courage, and initiative in key moments in life. We thank you today for them, these heroes among us. We also ask that as we honor them this morning, you would encourage and inspire each of us in our lives of faith and service. Give each of us a fresh courage, strength, and boldness to continue doing our part in helping make our communities and this world a better and safer place to live. Thank you again for this opportunity, Lord. And especially today, we give you thanks for the great gift of your Son, Jesus, as we head towards the Easter celebration. We give you praise for him who holds all things together, and in whom is the great offer of forgiveness of sin and the hope of everlasting life. It is in his name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Tim. How often are we faced with a choice that will change someone's life? The 12 heroes recognized today were put in that position. They could have chosen to walk away, but instead, they did what was needed to help. This choice transformed these everyday people into our everyday heroes.
And that's why we're here today, to recognize these heroes among us, to celebrate their actions, and to hear really their truly inspiring stories, and we have many today to talk about. Their concern for others, for their environment, has had a major impact on our community. We will see their stories of compassion, selflessness, and in some cases, bravery and courage. We're also going to see the difference they've made in the lives of so many people right here in our community.
The first award will be the Community Service Award category. The recipients are Aiden Dolph and Corbin Dolph from Raymond. Presenting the award will be Amy Wienens of Amy Wienens Real Estate. These fifth grade students enjoy having fun in the snow, playing basketball, and on the baseball diamond as the pitcher and catcher combo. These are common activities, as we learn they have been actively volunteering in their community since they were 3 years old.
Your 2020 Heroes Among Us Community Service Category recipients, Aiden Dolph and Corbin Dolph of Raymond.
Since I was like 3 or 4, like help at the AMVETS and the fire station. I like to help people in different ways. Like sometimes we go to the AMVETS or the fire station and honor flight. Once they land, we pass sometimes we pass out one time we passed out pillow sheets and we welcome them home different ways. I help clean the tables, get ready, and I can make people have smiles on their face. So we went to Washington D.C. to help to talk to the senators and the Congress to talk about veteran awareness and to help veterans if they're still in or retired. And they were surprised to see us there, and they were happy. They said thank you for helping and all that. I feel honored. I learn something new all the time. When they were in the military or in a fire, save people and then help people. They're kind of happy to see young people, maybe to see them to helping people.
Aiden and Corbin Dolph, your 2020 Community Service Heroes Among Us.
I'm honored to present this morning to your 2020 Community Service Heroes Among Us, Aiden and Corbin Dolph. You guys are rock stars. I'm super partial to twins and redheads, but you guys are literally changing the world. I mean, at a young age. You're doing things that most adults have never done. And so I congratulate you. Congratulations to your family for raising them up to be like that. And kudos to you. You guys are going to change the world in great big ways. So keep soaring, boys. We appreciate you. You're inspiring.
Congratulations, guys. And I'll tell you, I can't wait till the honor flights return. And aren't those memorials out there in Washington something else? Wow, just absolutely amazing. Our next award is in the military category for 2020. And the recipient for this year's Heroes Among Us Military Award is Chiquita Lovelace of Waterloo. Brian Sayer of the Sayer Law Group will be presenting the award here in just a moment. Chiquita Lovelace served in the United States Navy for 23 years. She did 2 tours of special warfares, deploying with the Navy SEALs, by the way, on 2 aircraft carriers and also on an amphibious assault craft. After retiring as Chief Warrant Officer, she earned her bachelor's degree as well as her master's in business administration. In 2018, Chiquita moved from Georgia here to our community here in the Cedar Valley in Iowa, and found her new calling at the University of Northern Iowa as the coordinator for military and veteran student services. Her impact on student lives goes well beyond the classroom at the University of Northern Iowa. Let's take a look at her story.
Your 2020 Heroes Among Us military category recipient, Chiquita Lovelace of Waterloo.
I served in the United States Navy for 23 years. I served 2 tours with Special Warfare, deploying with the Navy SEALs. I was on 2 aircraft carriers and an amphibious ship. From there, you learn to take care of people as you come up through the ranks and become a leader. You take care of your people and they'll take care of you. Coming up in Chicago, my mother also instilled the golden rule: do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. And so I still apply that to life from a little girl, because we're blessed, and so that's how we look. My faith is very strong, and so I always want to do right by everyone. But the UNI students, they have a place in my heart. When I started in 2018, there was a bunch of students in the Veterans Center, and they didn't have a leader or advisor or anyone to give them guidance. I felt the need to just step in and do what I need to do. I've served in enlisted ranks, and so I've walked in their shoes. After I retired, I attained my bachelor's in business and my master's, and so I understand what it is to have a family and try and live off a stipend and work and take for a full load of courses trying to achieve your goal. There's been some that quit on me, and they will tell you, Chiquita will knock on your door and say, you need to come back and finish. Most of them have come back and finished, and that's what this thing is about, taking care of our veterans. And I just love my job. When I was young in the Navy, we had a vice admiral come and speak to us. I don't know, he just pierced my heart with it. But he said, in life you can become a ladder builder or a ladder climber. If you become a ladder builder, you build as you grow. You take people and you groom them. You help them to succeed as you're succeeding. And you make it to the top. But as a climber, you step on people to get to the top. And the difference is, when you're at the top, if you're a builder and you fall, you have so many people that's right behind you to support you and catch you and push you to get back up. But when you climb and step on folks, you just fall right down to the bottom because there's no one there to catch you. And I chose at that time in my young life to become a ladder builder. We're taught to love and we're taught to serve. How dare I be blessed with so many assets and resources and not share them?
Chiquita Lovelace, your 2020 military Heroes Among Us.
Chiquita is passionate and relentless in everything she commits to, and her sole goal is to find success for everyone she comes in contact with. At the Cedar Law Group, our motto is building a better future together, and I can't think of anyone that lives those ideals better than you do, Chiquita. So congratulations. It's our honor and privilege to present this award to you. Thank you.
The Heroes Among Us Public Safety category recipients are Miranda Crackey of Delhi and Katie Strube of Cedar Falls. To present the award will be Megan Redmond of DePaco Community Credit Union and Melissa Tierney of New Aldea Lifescapes. Helping children through situations that can be emotionally and physically draining is an act of heroism not everyone can do, especially when it deals with all types of abuse. This discipline and dedication make all the difference to those involved. Let's watch the video.
Your 2020 Heroes Among Us public safety category recipients, Katie Strube and Miranda Crackey.
When I was a teenager and when I was in college, I was always searching for someone to listen to me. And so because I couldn't fix what had happened in my life, I decided to be the change. So I've been at the Child Protection Center since it opened in 2010. 85% of the patients we see every year are for allegations of sexual abuse. We also see kids that have witnessed crimes like a homicide or an abuse of another child, kids who have been abducted, kids who have been physically abused or neglected. We also have services for kids who were exposed to substances prenatally or shortly after birth so that we can hopefully set them on the right track to have the right interventions before they go to school.
What I think is so cool about the Child Advocacy Center model is that before this existed, kids were bounced around. They had to talk to lots of different people, lots of different times, and that's really not fair. And so when child protection centers and advocacy centers are used, hopefully kids really only have to talk in depth about what happened one time. They're only receiving one medical evaluation, and everyone is really coming to them who needs to be involved in these cases instead of that kind of bounce around effect. I think that's really important instead of expecting them to talk about it over and over again and to do this process over and over again with lots of different people, many of whom maybe don't know how to talk to kids.
We can help that child feel listened to. A lot of the time they're telling us a story they've never told before, and it isn't our story to tell. It's just our story to listen to. And so my hope is that the child feels relieved. You know, we provide the service as kind of a part of the investigation. So law enforcement and DHS is going to do with the information what they need to do. But my hope is just that that child feels relieved.
I really love being able to help create a safe space where kids can talk about whatever they want to talk about or be empowered to not talk if they're not ready. Because we do have situations where kids haven't disclosed, but somebody found out about something. And so that being a part of that process and allowing them to feel empowered however is needed is really special and important to me.
Sometimes their motivation is not for someone to get locked up or punished, it's just for the abuse to stop. So it takes a huge amount of bravery and a huge amount of trust in order for that child to come forward and tell his or her story. I feel like the kids are the heroes. You know, I get to facilitate a space for them to tell their story and be incredibly brave. I feel grateful and I feel honored to be a part of it.
Katie Strube and Miranda Cracky, your 2020 Public Safety Heroes Among Us.
Good morning. On behalf of New Aldea, I'm honored and delighted to present Miranda Cracky and Katie Strube as your 2020 Public Safety Heroes Among Us. Congratulations, Miranda and Katie, and thank you so much for your commitment to such important work.
Miranda and Katie, on behalf of Dupaco Community Credit Union, thank you for your compassionate service to provide to our children and families in our community. Because of your caring hearts, these children have now a safe space to share their stories when they're ready. Your role is an important part in helping them feel empowered, and the Cedar Valley is grateful for your willingness to go above and beyond. Congratulations on your well-deserved honor.
Our next award here today, as we honor our Heroes Among Us for 2020, it's the Good Samaritan Adult category. The recipients this year, we're proud to welcome Rebecca Tucker of Waterloo and Jody Moore of Cedar Falls. Now, presenting the award here in just a moment will be Chris Hansen of the Western Home Communities. Now, Rebecca says she enjoys hockey games, reading books, spending time with her family. Jody says she enjoys cooking, relaxing, and caring for her family. Notice the theme there, family. Both have family at the very top of their list, right where it should be. So when an accident occurred on a Sunday morning in late April of last year, they thought of their families and they did what needed to be done to help others, while at the same time, others simply drove by. They did not. They did what needed to be done. Here's their story.
Your 2020 Heroes Among Us Good Samaritan Adult category recipients, Jody Moore and Becky Tucker.
I never leave early. I usually leave Iowa City at 7:30, and I think I left a little before 6, like 5:45-ish. I was gonna go home and get my McDonald's hero meal. The sun was shining. I was gonna sit in the driveway and not wake my family up. I was just tootling along and saw a car that looked like it was a fresh accident. It had well, it was smoking and it didn't seem like it was attended to at all. There was no emergency vehicles around there, and I stopped.
I was just on my way to work and was on my way. 2 or 3 cars were in front of me. They kind of passed the guy, and I was like, wait a minute, that looks like a fresh accident. So I decided to stop and figured if it was my family member, I would want somebody to stop for me. So there was actually a fire underneath the front of the car, and there was that smoke coming up from it. So and all the airbags in the vehicle were deployed.
Told Siri to call 911 and threw it in my scrub pocket, and away we went. I wasn't able to open up the driver's side door right away. I think with the impact of the car hitting the cement pillar, I think it just jarred the doors back far enough that the doors just didn't open. The dispatcher was telling us to move away from the vehicle if we thought it was unsafe, if we were in harm's way at all. And that's kind of hard to just walk away from something too when you know that there's somebody inside.
Yeah, at first it didn't want to come open at all, and I don't know if the guy came to or not, but then it just kind of opened, and he was somewhat coherent, but
we were able to rouse him enough that he kind of stumbled out of the vehicle, very incoherent. We moved probably 15 feet away from the car, and then the cabin just was engulfed in flames.
We asked him if there was anybody else in the vehicle with him, and he said no, but fresh accident, guy's not too coherent. I was like, I'm gonna go check. So when I approached the vehicle, it was like sparking and banging, and I was like, I ain't going near that. And then I was like, no, because what if there's somebody else in there? So then I peeked my head in there and kind of hollered and looked around, and I didn't see anybody else in there. There was a car seat in there, but there was nobody in the car seat, so.
He wasn't sure really if he had somebody with him. So he opened his phone for me. I was able to find his girlfriend's phone number. And so I called his girlfriend, kind of told her what was going on, verified that she had the baby with her.
I mean, I just stopped and did what I had to do. I mean, I didn't think nothing of it. I just seen somebody needed help and I wanted to help them.
I think he was lucky that there was a couple people heading his direction. I know, God had a plan for all of us that day, and we just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
My girls are the proudest of me, especially my youngest. She was like, Mom, I'm very proud of you.
Jody Moore and Becky Tucker, your 2020 Good Samaritan Adult Heroes Among Us.
On behalf of Western Home Communities, we're very proud to be part of the Heroes Among Us, and we're very happy to present the Good Samaritan Award to Becky and Jody.
The next award will be the Heroes Among Us Environmental category, sponsored by Nagel Signs and Strategic Imaging. The recipient is Tracy Bell of Independence. Nagel Signs cannot be in attendance. However, Melanie Trinier of Strategic Imaging will be presenting the award this morning. Located in rural Independence, Tracy voluntarily rescues and rehabilitates multiple species of wildlife, exotic and domestic animals, as her nonprofit, Wild Thunder Wars. The goal is to rehab, mend, and place into permanent homes or release into the wild. Tracy does all of this while impacting youth as well. Let's watch the video.
Your 2020 Heroes Among Us environmental category recipient, Tracy Bell of Independence.
That's how I got into wildlife. I was on the streets pretty young as a kid, and some of the people that I would stay with, well, at night we'd go looking for rattlesnakes and different things, and we would just do research and studies and get them off the roads and stuff like that. I'm afraid of snakes. Every time, you know, I work with bald eagles and bobcats, so you let a snake this big try to strike at me and I'm gonna scream like a girl. And there's no logic behind that. But I love them, they're fascinating, they're beautiful, they're just, you know, and we get snake calls all the time. Like, Tracy, come get this snake. Tracy, come get this bald eagle. Tracy, we got a fox stuck in a Honda bumper, come get it out. We've been a licensed wildlife rehabber for 25 years. And a nonprofit coming up, our 5th year anniversary is coming up on the 16th. So we're all over the state. We work with several different sheriff's departments and our federal wardens and our DNR officers, and with our wildlife, the goal is to get them back out in the wild. That is the ultimate goal, is to take an animal that comes in and it's injured or broken or bloody or cold, and then there's that day that it runs free or flies free, and that's it. That's it right there. That's everything. I have a sub-organization, not official yet, called Wild Thunder's Reign. And we work with a homeless youth shelter in Chicago, as well as the Four Oaks kids. I just understand these kids. You know, it's not always their fault. There's always extenuating circumstances. You know, a lot of these animals are not wants. They're thrown away. They're throwaways. And sometimes that's the way these kids feel. I know I did. And for them to be able to see that we're giving the animals a second chance, they're getting a second chance, and they get to just come out and be kids. And they're just out there, and these kids just work with the animals, and they clean, and they feel useful, and they have a purpose, and they blossom, you know, or they look at you like, wow, you know, just giving some of these kids trust, or giving some of these kids a chance to be who they are, to open up, you know, and to not judge them, you know, not belittle them. I always say it's kind of selfish on my part, because helping them helps me. It's been the best medicine there's been for the whole, with the post-traumatic stress. It's been the best medicine there is, to just give back.
Tracy Bell, your 2020 Environmental Heroes Among Us.
On behalf of Nagel Science and Strategic Imaging, we would like to thank you for making a difference in our community. Respecting the environment is important to both Nagel Science and Strategic Imaging. After reading your story and watching this video and briefly meeting you, I had an instant connection to our stories. As you rescue and help animals, we are a foster family, so we take in children through foster care as well in our home. And as you said, when you get back, it is also helping, as that is the best medicine, and I couldn't agree more. Tracy, you are a perfect example that we should all strive to be. Congratulations, Tracy Bell, on your 2020 Environmental Heroes Among Us Award.
Tracy, congratulations for the work that you do. It's fantastic. Our next category for the Heroes Among Us Award ceremony for this year is going to be the Medical Healthcare category. And our recipient this year is Sherry Purdy of Raymond. And presenting the award will be Ryan Meyer of Mercy One Northeast, Iowa. So I assume you guys know each other. At least the name sounds familiar. Okay. Well, Sherry has a really long list of volunteering activities over the years, and for her experiences, Cedar Valley Alliance and Chamber, Junior Achievement, Goodwill, I should say, St. Joseph's Catholic Church, the Don Bosco Catholic School System. The list goes on. And Sherry says her parents are her heroes, as they taught her to love life and to always give back. And Sherry, like so many others in the healthcare industry, had to do exactly that, and she did so well as the pandemic hit. So let's watch her story right now.
Your 2020 Heroes Among Us healthcare category recipient, Sherry Purdy of Raymond.
Well, COVID came around and I think everybody was scared at first. You know, we didn't know what it was about. We just kept hearing about it, and then it came into Iowa, and you have to make immediate decisions because when our patients need us, we have to figure out, you know, on the queue, like, what do we do and how do we make this work and how do we get sick patients in without getting other people sick? And so other people created the Ferry Clinic, and because it was located at my building at the Kimball Ridge site, I just kind of jumped in to say, what can I do to help? Because I was already there doing rehab and wellness. And so I offered up just to be the person in charge of the garage side. So it was the swabbing side of things. So I helped staff it. I helped make sure that supplies were there for our COVID patients, talking to patients that showed up scared and nervous for their family members. It was a trialing time for us, but the group that came together from all over Mercy One, it was pretty phenomenal. I was taken back by how people just said, let me help. So I didn't get used to it, but I became familiar with it, and I knew that I was going to be okay as long as I was PPE geared up. So I wasn't afraid to be with COVID patients. I was never afraid after that, and when I knew that our own hospital associates were getting sick, I just told my boss, hey, I want to help. And there was an opportunity where they said that the governor allowed people to do a short class online to become a CNA. And they were needing help on the floors big and bad at that point because we had so many COVID patients. And I just was like, I need to help. My boss let me go through the CNA class, and I basically went to my regular job during the day. I did my 8 hours in my rehab and wellness side of things, and then I came here at night to help on the floors. And I basically called and said, where can I go? And they'd tell me which floor to go. And I'd show up and I'd be like, what do you want me to do? And I mostly did vitals, and they would always be like, do you want to do the COVID patients? And I'm like, sure, because I wanted to talk to them. I wanted like the 5 minutes in there to just make them feel normal because they were really sick, but they couldn't have their families come in. So I'll be honest with you, it was the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life, just being up on the floors, seeing how hard our nurses work, seeing our CNAs work so hard, our respiratory therapists, our PTs, our OTs. Everybody that went up there were heroes to me. And I wait now because if they need me again, I'll jump right in because I loved every single second I worked on those floors. I love talking to those patients. Show me pictures of your farm on your iPad. Show me your family. Show me your grandchildren. Just asking them about normal day things made them feel more normal. It helped me too. It helped me see a 76-year-old man who lives outside my town talk to me about, hey, come over and have supper with me after this is all done, because me and my wife would love to meet you on the side. It's like those are the conversations I'll never forget about the connections we made when I was able to spend extra 5 minutes in there because I was extra help. And it was a treasure to get to know our patients in that way. And my parents just taught us the value of you gotta love what you do, find joy in life. It's gonna get hard, you gotta get through it. Don't put your head down and bury your head in the sand. Find ways to get through it every single day, but you gotta give back.
Sherry Purdy, your 2020 Healthcare Heroes Among Us.
On behalf of Mercy One, it's an honor to present this award to one of our own. This past year, we've had so many heroes step up and across our facilities and take care of our community and our patients. Sherry is somebody that's a culture champion for Mercy One. It invests so much in the organization. So to step back and see what she also went above and beyond this past year to contribute to that, it's truly an honor, Sherry, to have you on our team, and couldn't be prouder of you. So congratulations on this year's Hero Among Us award.
Thank you, Sherry, for going above and beyond, and thank you to all of our healthcare workers for what they did for us in our communities last year. Well, it's time to take a quick break in the action, and we're going to do it for good reason. We're going to make someone a winner this morning. So I'd like to welcome Kim Fetkether to the stage. Kim works at Viridian Community Credit Union and serves on the Mercy One Waterloo Foundation Board. And she's going to award some lucky person who's involved in the ceremony this morning with a nice prize from the Isle Casino Hotel in Waterloo, a classic hotel package including an overnight stay in a deluxe room and breakfast for two at Brew Brothers. So Kim, take it away.
All right, drum roll, please. Our lucky winner is Caroline Lovelace. So congratulations, Caroline. The Mercy One Foundations will be getting this sent out to you. And on behalf of the Isle Casino in Waterloo, congratulations and thank you.
A reminder, this annual fundraising ceremony is very, very vital to the Mercy One Foundations, and of course, it has raised, over the last 15 years, nearly $400,000. And we're grateful to all, and I mean all of our dedicated annual sponsors for their support in helping the healthcare industry right here in the Cedar Valley through Mercy One. These gifts support the Mercy One Foundations of Waterloo and Cedar Falls, and also what they do is they buy special equipment and help programming, and specifically this year, the donations are quite important, as we know, because of the efforts to help in COVID relief through Mercy One Northeast Iowa. So this money is vitally important, nearly $400,000 over the last 15 years. So right now, we would like to take the opportunity for those of you who are watching this video at home to help out Mercy One Foundations. Here's how you do it. It's mercyone.org/heroes. mercyone.org/heroes, and then just select the Give Now button. It's as simple as that, the Give Now button, to begin making a difference to all of us here in the Cedar Valley. Thank you for your support of the Mercy One Foundations, Waterloo and Cedar Falls, the Waterloo Medical Center, and Mercy One Cedar Falls Medical Center. We're going to take a moment right now to thank the paid and volunteer staff who make this annual ceremony a success, virtual again this year, of course. A lot of planning goes into this annual recognition breakfast. The program, the vignettes of our heroes would not be possible, of course, without the support of so many of our dedicated sponsors. So right now, please, a round of applause, if you will. Applause for those who have helped put the ceremony together again this year. Thank you. And with that, let's continue with our next Heroes Among Us award. Let's go over to Jim Koloff.
Thank you, Ron. The Heroes Among Us Workplace Award category honors Tony Everts of Applington and David Gilson of Fairbank. We welcome Phil Nash of Wells Fargo to the stage, presenting the award today. Tony and David responded to a fellow employee having a medical issue. The risk of COVID-19 exposure did not enter their minds as they attended to a colleague in distress. Drawing on their own experience, Tony, a volunteer for the Applington Fire Department and trained ambulance driver, and David, with his military experience, prepared them to stay focused on the task at hand. Let's watch the video.
Your 2020 Heroes Among Us Workplace category recipients, David Gilson and Tony Everts.
Actually, I was at my desk working, and I heard over the radio that no names were mentioned, but that somebody was in distress.
It was a typical day at work, and we had problems on the line, and then when I went to the computer to make out a work order, one of the ladies in the HR called me and said, come to the office. Well, then that's when I found him sitting in the chair having trouble breathing.
And then a few minutes later, my boss actually came and grabbed me and asked me to go to the HR because they're going to need my assistance.
He was sweaty, having trouble breathing, didn't talk. That's when he went into like a seizure. Then I laid him on the ground, and then I told the HR lady to call dispatch and tell him to hurry up.
So when I got there, the gentleman was lying down, unresponsive. I'm a veteran, so the military has actually trained us to just focus on the mission. And the main focus is stay calm. Realize what you need to do, what needs to get done, and you have to just do it. And so right away, I jumped in and said, hey, we have to start the CPR.
They came, 2 other people showed up and helped me in the situation, CPR, counting.
We did what we had to do. We gave each other support during that time. Even once the ambulance had shown up, I informed them of everything that we had done, what we were doing.
Yeah, I think they're heroes. They came, as soon as I called on radio, they came and running. Someone that puts themselves way ahead of anybody else. It don't matter if it's a little thing, big thing, I think they're heroes. Keep up on the training, and it might happen one day to somebody.
David Gilson and Tony Everett, your 2020 Workplace Heroes Among Us.
So thank you, first of all, to Mercy One for hosting such a wonderful event to help us all remember all the common things that happen every day and the great things that happen just in the local community around us. So thank you for hosting this great event. And Tony and David, it's a very simple thank you from me and from everybody else, just reminding us, it's not that hard to make a difference. You just kind of have to step up and do it. And so this is such a great example of that, and I want to thank you guys, not just for that, but everything that you're doing between the fire department and helping your local community. So thank you guys for everything you do.
Our final recipient this year for the Heroes Among Us for 2020 is in the category of Good Samaritan Youth. 7-year-old Eleonora Voss is our honoree today. She's from Applington as well. Presenting the award will be Pastor Mary Robinson and Chaplain Rick Rostad of Tyson Fresh Meats. When her dad had a biking accident, Eleonora, remember just 7, she proved to be brave and mature way beyond her years. Her dad received the necessary medical treatment needed when he needed it most in a timely manner because of Eleonora's actions. Her story, as only a 7-year-old, is simply amazing. So let's take a look at it right now.
Your 2020 Heroes Among Us Good Samaritan Youth category recipient, Eleonora Voss of Applington.
We were going to this bike place, and there's this track that I like going on, and my daddy likes going on it too. And there's this big wooden board that you can bike off. And I was on the track, and my daddy was gonna bike off that board. And I heard my brother screaming. I asked what was wrong, and he said, Daddy's hurt. So I went down the hill. Daddy was laying in the weeds. He was asleep. He was totally knocked out. And I was super duper scared. And he got to his feet, but he wasn't strong enough to walk up there, so I had to help him. I pushed him up the hill. The boys helped me because it was a really bumpy hill, and it was hard to get up there, and it was deep too. And then Daddy was awake enough to unlock his phone for me. I had to turn him over and take it out because it was in his back pocket. And then I remembered Mommy's phone number. I called Mommy, and Mommy called 911. Mom was at work, so when Dad was out, I was technically in charge. I told them that it would be okay. I prayed with them, and I kept doing that a lot, and they finally calmed down.
How do you stay so calm and do that?
I didn't though. I was screaming. I was screaming out the road for help.
Do you feel like a hero?
Kinda.
What does it mean to be a hero to you?
Save someone's life, which I technically did. Just be brave. I don't know.
Eleonora Voss, your 2020 Good Samaritan Youth Heroes Among Us.
Mary Robinson and Rick Rustad from Tyson Food. Ron, you use the word amazing. I think that is absolutely the best descriptive word I could could use. I really, seriously, I've been doing these for a number of years, and this really, really touched my heart. It was hard to watch, and without the tears. Nora, I guess, as you're called this year, you are amazing. And as I thought about Tyson, we are, as Tyson chaplains, we are more than honored to be able to help present this award to you. And the thing that, as I was reading the literature, that impressed me the absolute most was she said, I prayed with them. Amazing. With everything that was going on, and she thought to be able to have prayer. I am so honored, and we don't know, really, we're speechless. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your ability to stay strong in the middle of a difficult situation. We will always, always remember you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaplain Mary. Eleonora, the scriptures say, you know God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Spirit and power so he could go around doing good and helping everyone who was hurting because God was with him. And that same God was with you that day, and you knew the power comes when you pray. And God gave you the help you needed to help your daddy. And that's so many good lessons that you learned that day. So keep it up. We're proud of you. God bless you.
At this time, we welcome the General Manager and Vice President of Sales of the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier, David Adams, to the stage to reflect on the awards this morning.
Well, I want to thank Mercy One for allowing the Courier to be a part of recognizing and honoring these heroes today. What telling and touching stories. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this. We are proud, and as a representative of the Courier, proud to recognize today's heroes and honorees who've gone above and beyond to perform acts and outstanding greatness and kindness. I want to thank you again for allowing us to be a part of it. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mercy One President of the Northeast Iowa region, Jack Dusenberry.
It is always my privilege to make a few concluding remarks on today's special event. First, I'd like to start off by thanking the sponsors. And also, Ron and Jim, once again, thank you for emceeing today's event. I've always said this in the past, and this is our 16th year that this is the best breakfast in the Cedar Valley each year. Unfortunately, the last two events have had to be virtual. Special thanks to our staff of really excelling, making this a terrific virtual event. And with the vaccines, I can almost promise next year we can include breakfast. To the heroes, 12 heroes. The stories are so heartwarming, and maybe never in the past has this event been so special to us because we've been surrounded by heroes over the past year dealing with this horrible pandemic. But to the 12 individuals, thank you, God bless you. They're always such heartwarming, bring tears to your eyes story. Just a special thanks to each and every one of you.